Vamos! Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to James Redmond TV. Mbappe's leaving Real Madrid. Oh, I think, in fact, I saw something about this earlier on Twitter, and it was saying the cliche stuff. He's the owner. He does what he wants, and now because Messi's leaving, Neymar's leaving, and they're in a shit creek. It looks like that he doesn't want to be staying at the football club. Welcome back to James Redmond TV. We've got Why is there so much news today? Why have we got Steven Gerrard joining Saudi? Why have we got the Pep Guardiola stuff is very speculative, but I think there's legs to it, but we'll delve into it. And then Mbappe leaving PSG. Where's he going? Is he going to Real Madrid, people? Is he going to Real Madrid? You're late. Are you high on crack cocaine? It is 46. I would suggest that I am 4 minutes early. Usually I am here. If I set a stream for 1:45, I am here for 10 to, and you say I'm late. I just don't appreciate the disrespect. I don't appreciate the disrespect from somebody who supposedly thinks that I am hot. By the way, isn't it boiling? Isn't it absolutely boiling today? I'm sweating me Nellies off, I swear to God. Esther says, late Redmond's agendas must agenda. That is an agenda. That's a full-on agenda, and I don't appreciate the way you raise it every single stream. Shout out to Festus. I appreciate they call me Mr. Williams. He's done what? Yeah, Steven Gerrard's gone to Saudi Arabia. He's joined the Saudi Arabia League. I suppose that's where we should start if you don't know that information. But we have got loads of topics to delve into today. We are even going to touch on Gabri Veiga as well. Chat, you can decide what's the first topic. Because I've got a lot to say about Steven Gerrard to Saudi Arabia, purely on the premise of how many people said that they wanted Steven Gerrard as the next manager. Wait, what? Don't stop doing this. If this is not true, don't do this to me. If I ever find out on stream that takeover's being completed, I will be furious. I might just be more angry than when City finished the treble. And that was out of pure saltiness. If this happens, that'll be out of pure fear. That I don't even know how to control myself. Mbappe direction. Ryan Reynolds, when Mbappe walks in the club, hey man, we're doing season 3. You want to hop on? You can have an appearance in Deadpool, man. Stevie G, yeah, Stevie G. We'll start on Stevie G. I love the way someone said FSG is the first topic. So right, in terms of the Pep leaving stuff, there's no direct quote from Pep saying that he's leaving. So we'll touch on that in a minute, but I think there's legs to the story. And it's a story that's been jumping around for quite a while now, so that's why I've put it in the title. Steven Gerrard going to Saudi Arabia. The first thing, this links into it. I wish managers were more patient. I feel like Gerrard had potential, but managers rush to good clubs and regret it. First and foremost, the book isn't closed on Steven Gerrard having a successful managerial career just because he's gone to Saudi Arabia. Let me know if you disagree, but I really believe that there's still an open door there. But has it halted the progression? Of course it has, because it's not a league that takes any credibility. He could go there, win 4 out of the next 5 league titles, and I'd still question whether or not he could do it in the Premier League, and that's becoming a more competitive league by the second. He's going to be getting paid a lot of money, so from all those standpoints I'm happy for him. But in terms of the comparisons that a lot of fans were making a year ago about saying he should be the manager when he joined Aston Villa, I just thought, I remember being on a podcast and it was being mentioned, and of course it was being mentioned for post-Klopp, but it was the certainty that people were saying that Gerrard was going to be a good manager and how happy they was with him being the next manager. I only raise the point because it's an example of emotion being shown, and that's how you determine football and decisions, because it's a nice storyline, and Steven Gerrard's never won a Premier League, oh, let's get him as the manager. I think that's the first protocol that a lot of people go towards. And now that he's gone to Saudi League, no one's going to mention about the fact they were willing to have him as the next manager. Now, of course, times can change everyone's minds. I get proven wrong a lot of the time. I'm basically just trying to say how a lot of people can make inaccurate decisions on inaccurate methods. If they have an inaccurate way of getting to a certain conclusion, then it's going to be the wrong conclusion. And Steven Gerrard, I think it was and is still unlikely for him to ever be the Liverpool manager. Unless it's like on a permanent basis for a couple of seasons. I think if he's ever the Liverpool manager, it'll be if whoever's next after Klopp gets sacked and then he comes in for a temporary role, and then that's kind of his trial to see if he can be the full-time manager. If not, everything else goes and gets tested. By the way, we've got 100 people in the stream. Be sure to smash a like and all that other good stuff. Let me know what you think about the Gerrard stuff as well. Esther says, are managers too impatient, or are clubs too quick to sack managers? I think it's a little bit of everything. I feel like both answers can be right there. Managers' impatience. I don't think Gerrard's looked at this as an impatient opportunity. Like, oh, I'll never get the chance to go to Saudi Arabia again. I think he's looked at it as, let me go to the Saudi League, develop my managerial skills, because football's football. Saudi is an improving league. I mean, when he was in the Scottish League, we was okay with him being in the Scottish League because it was his development phase. He's now in year 4. So is it Gerrard that's impatient, or is it the fans that's impatient with Gerrard? And even me, I was just saying I don't want him as the manager. Based on the substance that I've seen so far, I don't even think it should be a conversation. The same way that we can't expect Steven Gerrard's kid, for instance, to be the next Gerrard in midfield. It's just unrealistic until, if he gets older, gets in academy, and then these things. The same way if Gerrard goes to Saudi, then goes to Portugal, random place, but Portugal, then goes to Ajax and wins leagues with Ajax, and then goes to Milan and wins a league with Milan. Then if that happens, then you can start to say, let's get Gerrard as the Liverpool manager. But until that, I think it's the fans being impatient in terms of expecting Gerrard right here, right now to be ready, and then thinking just because he's joining the Saudi League, he's finished. There's plenty of managers that have took gap years in different leagues or random leagues that you think, why is he there? Like Rafa Benitez went to China. Remember when Rafa Benitez went to China? And then there was other managers that have made moves like this, and we haven't saw them again. It's one of those things that's very frequent. But now that Gerrard's doing it, people are saying he's being impatient. He's throwing away his managerial career. Stop being melodramatic, you divvies. He looks about 20 years of age. That man will probably live till he's about 105. And you think he hasn't got time in the game to be able to improve as a manager? And it's still football. It's not like people, I think, and I'm at fault at this, people think Saudi Arabia League has like different rules. If you can play football there, you can't play football anywhere else. It's still football. He's still learning. He's still in his 4th or 5th year. If he's doing that in a non-competitive league or a non-prestigious league, why not? Why not? I think that's good. In fact, I think the impatient side on Gerrard's part was going to Aston Villa so soon. I think that was the impatient bit. Chat, is that a W or an L? Let me know. Hale says, we know we won't get Mbappe unless... Right, Hales, God bless you, sweetheart. I don't know how old you are for you to be even entertaining this stuff. Let's not even get into that, right? And the only reason why I briefly, and I mean on a minuscule level, mention that news at the start of the stream is only because it's a big football-related topic, and I'm not opposed to going into a football-related topic. I'm just saying that, forget Mbappe to Liverpool. What are we doing? Let's not do this. Let's not even make... If I do one more video with Mbappe in the title to Liverpool, I give you free permission to slap me if you see me in time. I give you free permission. You've got to let me know before you slap me, like James, like, remember when you said the Mbappe, and then you posted an Mbappe. That's fine. Don't just come up and slap me, because then I won't know why you're slapping me, and it'll be a weird exchange, and I wouldn't want to, do me namastes on you, you know what I mean? You little... turn into a little Mike Tyson, yeah? A little Mike Tyson. Go on then, Jungle. Why is that an L, what I just said about Gerrard? Because I'm not going to lie, I thought that was a perfectly articulated paragraph of football and facts. Oh, where's Johnny? People who think Mbappe to Liverpool is even possible is so funny, like pure class. I love the optimism of youth. Yeah, also, Johnny, do you know why Mbappe to Liverpool isn't possible? It's because of the owners that you like, you fucking dickhead. I love you, Johnny, but you were asking for that one, mate. Johnny's been asking me for a debate. Chat, I might give him... I might allocate a little bit of time towards the end of the stream to Jonathan. Otherwise, I don't know if I should waste my time. I don't know. I love you, Jonathan. My guy. Who's Liverpool's next signing? Who are you putting your money on? I'm saying Thuram or Vega. I'm really confident that the next signing that we're going to get is going to be Thuram or Vega. If we get Thuram or Vega, I think both of them could be possible. I think one of them is nearly certain. I'd be gobsmacked if one of them win our midfielders this summer. They can be SSJG. They can because they did it without oil money, and now the only way you're going to compete with oil is get oil. Are you referencing the Saudi League there? Because I'm a little bit unsure. James, for a football fan not living in England, how does it feel being in a working class, culture rich city like Liverpool? Does football revolve always in your life? Oh yeah, football's just ever present in Liverpool, and if it's not Liverpool, it's Everton. For instance, I can't go around by Anfield on an Everton match day because Everton fans bombard that stadium and Everton fans don't like me. Individually we're sound, but as a group, I'm setting myself up for murder. You know what I mean? It's like trying to find a place with the Champions League final on, but you walk into a place of people who play tennis. It's just a bit strange. You know, I'm here to watch some proper stuff. Hello, James. Thoughts on Casado to the mighty Chelsea? I'm not going to lie, I like Casado to Chelsea. I mean, I need to see the development around what they do with the rest of the team. But, in terms of Casado himself, I'm a huge, huge fan. Considering market going crazy right now, which team would you prefer? Do you predict have the craziest window? It could be anyone. It was PSG a couple of years ago, and Bayern Munich signing Mane shocked me last summer. I haven't got a clue. I actually don't even know how to answer that question. Turns out no one cares about Gerrard, though. Like, everyone's fine with him just doing his thing. But, guys, don't look at the Gerrard thing earlier as well as a impatient sign. Like, Gerrard's now done with managerial. He's going there to develop. And if anything, he's now going to be going there to work with bigger personalities because he's going to a league with inflated funds, inflated investments. Therefore, he's going to work with bigger names, which is what he couldn't handle in the Premier League. So now he's going to go and get that experience too. Shout out to Ravi, my G. James, will you be doing streams with Doyle again? We've done streams with Doyle a long time ago. Yeah, we'll best believe in my lifetime me and Doyle will be doing a stream again. I don't know if they'll be regular, but yeah, Doyle's a cool dude. Bro, we literally beat them this season. Who did we beat this season? Oh, who was I talking about then? Who are you talking about, SSG? I feel like someone in the chat is having a conversation with someone. I always interrupt those conversations and get confused. Tuchemani to come here, a chance? No, not a chance. Tuchemani to Liverpool will not happen, especially not this window. I'm not saying in 10 years it can't happen. Right now, it's not happening. Johnny says, do you think Curtis Jones will be the next Trent? What? As in someone who will actually graduate from the youth academy and play more. Oh, okay, I'm glad that you extended. Yeah, I believe he will probably be an established Liverpool player in the next couple of years, Curtis Jones. Chat, do you think Curtis Jones will be established midfielder? There's just something about him. Like, okay, so he's got the technical ability. He's lacked the game time, the physicality, and the decision-making. They're three things you can work on. He's got the thing that's the most difficult. But putting it together is very difficult when it comes to the psychology of football. So I do believe he's going to be an established midfielder. It's just a question if he can maintain that first team position. If he plays how he did towards the end of last season, and you would suggest he would only progress in his career, then I would like to explore and think of the idea of Curtis Jones being in the midfield in the future. Thelma says, if you had to choose between Lukaku or... Oh, don't even ask me. I'd say Nunes. A shot to save my life. Oh, that's a different story. It's like saying if you got attacked by the boogeyman, who would you rather protect you? Like, who were those two girls who were going to box each other? The OnlyFans birds. They were going to box each other on one of the cards. Either way, one of them defending you. Oh, mate. It's not what you want. I'd say Nunes, because he's my guy. James, you and Hussam were boss the other night. Oh, yeah, that was it was a great stream in terms of the charisma between us. It was just the Wi-Fi was terrible, but we'll sort that for the next stream. Also with Hussam, I like burped on the stream and his chat was fuming, or someone in the comments was fuming. They were like, you're so disrespectful. Chat. Do you know if I went on another YouTube channel and burped? This is actually education. I'm asking for improvements here. If I went on another channel and burped, is that disrespectful? Is that like scummy? Would you say that's a bit of a scummy move? Like, I knew it weren't the most gentleman-like. I'm just saying, was it a little tiny bit scummy? Have you seen the Ward-Prowse rumours? I haven't seen the Ward-Prowse rumours. I'd take Ward-Prowse. That'd be quality in the midfield, but... would I take him if he's going to take away from any other big signing? No. And would I take him if he's going to not be the first teamer? I would if we could make those type of signings, but I'm not sure. It depends on the price. I'd have to explore the context of that one. Why is that comment just staying at the bottom of the chat? It's really annoying. I'm not too sure. Is it something to do with your phone? Not scummy, just say pardon me. To be fair, I did say pardon me, but the mic didn't pick it up. And do you know, like, do you look at burps like that, chat? Like, I wouldn't do it if you were sat next to me. I wouldn't burp in front of your face. I wouldn't. And if I really needed to burp, I'd turn away. I would. But I'm just saying, is it bad if it's on a stream in the comfort of your own home? Because it's only a noise. And are we really asked about noises? Are we really in a generation that make and really give one about noises? Because apparently so, because, you know, there's the free speech limitations, but now burps are apparently a bad thing as well, because they were fuming with me. Fuming. I could sense the rage through the comments. James, no, you were polite as always. Oh, thank you, Ravi. Appreciate that, sir. What a legend. What a legend. What do you reckon of our chances are with Thuram? Okay, so out of all the midfielders, I'll list them. So you've got Vega, Thuram, and then you've got Kone. I believe there's one more, Nick Gravenberch. I think the names out of all of those, Thuram is the most likely out of all of them to join. I believe he's the front runner. I believe he's the one that we want the most, and I think he's the most realistic. I think he's the one who's most realistic wages, most realistic transfer budget, everything combined. I really, really believe that he is going to be that guy for us. I believe he will sign. Just got to wait a little bit longer for that to happen. Regards, burping, it means different things around the world. If that's the case, that's actually fair. If that's the case, that's actually really fair. Why they done that? If they took that as, because I do believe it was people from a different part of the world, by the way, who commented this, and they were fuming with me. I'll take that. I'll keep that in mind in future. You know what I mean? I've always looked at burp as like one of those, harmless, but we live in fucking land. Liverpool paid 1 million settlement to Manchester City after their Premier League rivals made a complaint that their scouting system had been hacked into. Bet you won't mention this, James. Mention what, motherfucker? So what have we done? Chat. Right, let's go into this. Are Liverpool cheaters? Chat, yes or no, are Liverpool cheaters? Okay, and Ghost164 extends on why we're cheaters. Okay, so we cheat. I've heard about this. So I've heard about that we've got fines 1 mil. And I've heard that we hacked into something. What? I don't even understand the context of this story to even go into it. But if this is how the story lines, right? Liverpool hacked into Manchester. Wait there, so settlement. 1 million settlement. Liverpool paid a 1 million settlement to Man City, as if we got sued by Man City after their Premier League rivals made a complaint that their scouting system had been hacked into. Wait there. How can this be true when we've signed no good youth academy players? I mean, to be fair, Ben Doak was one out of nowhere and stuff like that. If we hacked into their shit, fair play. What did I say yesterday, chat? Compete with corruption. Compete with corruption. If they start the corruption, you've got to compete with the corruption. If the Premier League, the FA and the UEFA are not going to do nothing about it, then yes, as much as I can't stand the weird-looking bastard, John W. Henry should get on his little laptop, start and putting codes together and hacking into your shit, because your shit wouldn't be there without the inflated funds that come from fake sponsorships, motherfucker. So that's my response in this moment. At a later date, it might be slightly more professional and more suitable in a court environment. But that's the response right now, and I feel like that's a mic drop. Don't seem to have worked, otherwise we would have signed Alvarez for 16 mil and not Nunes for 70. Our owners are that bad that we can hack into your system and it does fuck all. That's how crap our owners are. Wait there, Mike. Oh no, it's Blady. Come on. Breathe on me when you're not strong. Right, guys, what I'm going to need to... No, I'm back. You have to do loads of stuff to sort that out, mate. I'll tell you that for free. Let me go through these comments. You're booming tonight, according to reports. Right, let's try and get one that's sort of related on the topic. That's a funny comment that, you know, doesn't seem to have worked. I really do believe that as well. Yet it was that bad. They've taken 3 weeks of Salah's wages. You're lying. He couldn't have taken 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks of Salah's wages, I get you. James, have you been friends, or do you have friends with anyone from the Liverpool team in your contacts? It's only the youth academy players. I'd probably say the most like mainstream footballer in the team that I know and have in my phone contacts is Harvey Elliott. That's it, really. But I don't ever use the number, so before you say James, call him, fine. But I do actually have his number, though. I'm not going to show you the number itself. In fact, I'm not even going to show you who's asked. It's a fucking number. Johnny says that's probably The only accusation we've ever had, I know, yeah. If that's the furthest that we go for cheating in the Premier League, then bloody hell, we're saints. We're absolute saints. If that's the worst that we've got, you think John Henry knows about how to work a computer? He's got the dough to hire someone to do it, though. James, what do you think about Vega? I've looked a bit more into him since my post earlier. Big fan. I can see why people, have the hints of Thiago with, about him. And he's only 21. No injury record. I like Vega. Where are we finishing at the end of the season? What are your thoughts? Does missing out on Champions League football mean Klopp getting sacked? Chat, I'm not going to lie. I do think if we don't get top 4 this season, I think that massively opens a door for Klopp getting sacked. 2 seasons without Champions League. And no one's looking at the owners. Yeah, for sure. I think Klopp will get sacked. Whether he should's a different question. But yeah, if we get 2 more midfielders, a fullback and all these things, and he doesn't get top 4, he should get sacked. Because he should still be getting top 4 at least. Like, I can accept not getting the Premier League based on the fact that I know what my owners are. If it's the top 4, that's a bit too much. I feel Liverpool have missed the bus on maximising Klopp's golden era. Do you know what? I was thinking it just then, but I've said it that many times that I just thought it wasn't worth repeating, to be fair. Guys, if you can smash the like button, that'd be grand. We've got 175 people in the stream. When's the Twitter follow happening? Hammers, Texas Dave. Who knows? And do you know what, Texas Dave? Don't live your life waiting for follows off people. Do you know what I'd rather, Texas Dave? I'd rather meet you in a pub, have a pint, and we'll have a proper talk about footy. Because guess what? I'll never DM you on Twitter. And not because I'm bigger than you, I don't DM people on Twitter. I don't DM in general. I don't go on my DMs. I focus now in my life. My main focus, just to give you a little bit of an insight, is focusing on my relationship with Jesus first and foremost. Second of all, is making sure that I'm applying all the things in which he teaches me and putting them in the forefront so I can be the best possible version of me. And I'm nowhere near perfect, but I learn every day. And that's what I say to myself all the time. I learn every day. I don't lose, I just learn. And the reason why I bring that up is because it's important to learn. So, that's why, in my life, that's what I'm just sort of implementing over time. And that's why I don't focus on DMs and stuff like that, because I've recognised, okay, James, you've got a lot of shit wrong with you. You've got a lot of shit to sort out. Let's get to work, partner. Let's get to work, and you can't do it by yourself. That's one thing that Jesus taught me. Red Chili says, hit the bomber clot button, bruv. Hit the bomber clot button, bruv. That was a weird way of saying it. That sounded like someone who tries to do a Cockney accent. That weren't a good Cockney accent, that one. Your bumbleclat. That's how I should have said it. If City are guilty of their 115 charges, what should be the punishment? I'll let the chat answer that one. I feel like some people would say relegation, and then some people would just say do a Juventus and give them a points deduction. Something along those lines. Who knows? Jeez, amen, fam. Amen, my guys. Amen. Horror lad, got a hole in my foot for some reason. I hope you fill it back in, lad. I'm only messing. Sorry, lads. I really hope your foot's okay. That was James. So when is the meet and greet? Chat, would you actually really want to do a meet and greet? Come on, we shouldn't do a meet and greet. Let's go. I'd love to do a meet and greet, but if you're getting there and there's 5 people, for instance, you know what I mean? If you're getting there and there's 5 people, that's a bit mad. I'm not going to lie, though. I do want to do something one day where, there's an event and we just, we book out a place and there's just multiple Xboxes laid out and we can all just play FIFA against each other and there's Scran and, we can just all, we can get a mic and we can just get, people trying to do comedy or karaoke. And it sounds like a proper seedy party, what I'm explaining right now. Trust me, when it happens and you're there, you'll realise, whoa, James, that was a really good idea, that, lad. Sounded way more weird when you were explaining it. As a Manchester City fan, why do the Liverpool fans talk more about City than their own club? I feel like because you're in the prevalent news at the moment. If you don't like people talking about you, then don't go on the internet. I feel like because you've just won the treble and you're always in the news and Pep Guardiola is up there as the best manager in the world, at least in your eyes, sir. That's what I think. So if you don't like people talking about your team, I'd suggest getting less sensitive, brother. I'll take my 2 Premier League winner trophies for one thing. Oh, wait, do you mean 1 Premier League trophy, Eric Sevenhag? I'm going to assume you're a Liverpool fan because of the 7 thing, but I don't know, I don't know. 2 Premier League trophies, where are they coming from? Where's the maths? The maths not mathing. And I failed maths, but I know that we haven't won 2 Prems. Madman. Have a day off, lads. I know I'm crazy, aren't I? Oh, do you mean me? Oh, do you mean someone else in the chat? Who's that? Have a look at Peter Crouch's feet. I'm all right, you know, chat. I'm all right. Like, I know that you're saying, like, I'm sure the proper boss, but I'm custy. Have a FIFA tournament. That'd be sick. What is scranning? Great question, Wisdom. Scranning is the term that Scousers use for eating. So when you're inserting food into your gob. And if you don't know what gob is, that's just like your mouth. I hate myself sometimes. I hate myself. No Champions Leagues next season. It's just depressing. Europa League, even if we win it, is not even half the competition the Champions League is. Yeah, the Europa League's meaty, mate. A lot of people don't agree with me. A lot of people are happy with the fact that we've got Europa League with me. I don't know. Like, yeah, if Liverpool got relegated to the Championship, would I sit there and say, oh, we've never won the Championship with Klopp? Like, no, I wouldn't say that because I don't care about winning the Championship. You can take their UCL title for a start, James. Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice. If we could get a nice little UCL title out of City being Muppets. Let me catch up with the comments because I'm high up here, mate. Proper high up. You can call the event that James Redmond's experience JRE. Do you reckon Joe Rogan could copyright it? As a Man City fan, I appreciate your honesty, mate. I agree, we are the biggest club in the world. I never said that, though. You can't lie about what I said. I said that you're the most prevalent in the news right now. Very, very different than saying you're the biggest club in the world. And yeah, you're definitely not that. Why am I only coming across your channel now? Isaac, welcome to the channel, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. Furthermore, I don't know. It's because I've actually been a very inconsistent YouTuber for the best part of 2 years. The fact that this channel's on 70k subscribers is a huge W to you lot because on my part, it's very minimal effort, I'll tell you that. Bro, who the fuck is the Madman guy? What's Madman doing? And someone, mods, there's about 5 of yous. Get Madman out the fucking chat if he's annoying yous. I don't want you to be annoyed. I want you to enjoy your time in the chat, having a peaceful conversation amongst each other, children. And you're there pissing each other off. Now, Madman, I don't know who you are and why you've decided to bombard my chat, but how about you do one? Or you be nice. And you'll be more than welcome. Exactly. Only half decent thing about the Europa League this season is that it's in Dublin. This is what I said. And that's only if we get there. I couldn't have think of a more facts comment if I ever read one, genuinely. Like, the Dublin thing sounds nice if it happens, but it has to happen for it to happen. And if you told me, 12 months ago, James, do you know if it means that, like, we get to have a final in Dublin? Would you want a Europa League final in 24 months? No, I don't. I'd rather Champions League in the worst country possible because it's the prestigious tournament. With the rise of Haaland at Manchester City, how special is a team going to have to be to challenge them for the title? I think it requires them dropping off and then a team just getting one transfer window perfectly right. And then I think you're there. I think that's how far away it is. But it's a lot easier said than done. Do you reckon Gakpo will be used down the middle as a foresight for Nunes? I'm not going to lie, chat, did you see Gakpo come out the other day and say, I like playing striker? He was saying, like, listen, I don't mind playing striker. I'll do that more often. And I think he's looked better in the middle for the all-round. Yeah, here's what I think. I think we started playing better when Gakpo started playing down the middle. Chat, is that a W or an L? And it's leading to a point, and you'll see what I'm about to say. W or an L? We started playing better when Gakpo played down the middle. And I've got a point here. It's not just that. That's not full stop. I've got an extension on top of this. Right? Now, bear in mind, we bought Gakpo in January. So we bought Gakpo in January. When we played him down the middle, he started playing significantly better. That was when Nunes was moved out of the middle. Because when Nunes was in the middle, what happened was exactly what I said. The momentum of the attack and play got disrupted because of the lack of technical ability that Nunes has. This is the only reason, and this is what I was saying at the time. I never disputed Nunes could get 20 goals, even though he didn't get 20 goals. I simply said he won't add to the all-round team. And what was it when Nunes was playing? Inconsistent results, draws here and there. But when Gakpo came in the team, we got the longest winning streak of the season. He was getting goals. He was chipping in with assists. Gakpo absolutely, no doubt, has to be the number 9. And then if he's the number 9, then who's the left winger? And would you put Nunes above Diaz? And would you put Nunes above Jota? And if you would put him above any of those, I don't know if you put him above both of those. So not a Núñez thing again, but everyone thinks that Núñez is going to be the next starter in the team. How based on the logic that I just gave you? No one's giving me W's no more, chat. Where's the W's gone, chat? Gakpo makes us better when he's through the middle 100%. Exactly. And Núñez can be a bench option. But I don't want Núñez fans to cry sitting there saying, James, he can't sit on the bench. Yeah, he can. And he can do it damn well. And he can give us a different dynamic, and I'm happy about that. Ex-United boss Van Gaal picked Gakpo over to Pai. Also, we'll put Diaz, Gakpo and Salah as my front three. That'd be my front three. That would be my front three going into next season. Not even a question. Not even a question. Because Gakpo can still get goals. He got goals at PSV. He was getting goals for us. I believe Gakpo can get 20 goals. If Núñez can get 20 goals, I believe Gakpo can get 20 goals. And I actually think Núñez is more capable of having a 30-goal a season. But you have to really, really, really adhere to him. You have to build a system around him. Whereas if you add Gakpo, you are adding to your system. I don't know if you caught that, chat. Come on, don't say that I'm not a lyrical genius sometimes. If you have Núñez, you've got to adhere to Núñez. The same way, if you have Lukaku, you have to adhere to Lukaku. But if you have Gakpo, Gakpo adheres to you. He adds to you. The same way Bobby Firmino did. Different players, similar type idea on how they add to your system. By the way, we've got 200 people in the stream. Let's smash the likes. Let's subscribe. Let's do all the good stuff that helps the YouTube channel thrive and brings you these live streams. It's all free. It's all juicy. It's all boss. Liverpool is so dangerous because of the rotation and depth of the forward line. Gakpo is such a well-rounded, intelligent player. Facts. 100% facts. Adam says we play both of them in the middle against Brentford. Maybe that will be the more common in future. But then that means Diaz isn't playing or Jota isn't playing. And do you expect both of them, based on what we know about Diaz, do we not expect Diaz to finally get into the team being a thriving winger? That's the only question I'm asking, because there's a possibility it doesn't happen. There's things that I've seen from Diaz that are still questioned, to be honest. Especially his end product. And if that doesn't improve, then just by default, Núñez will go above Diaz. There's not even a question. But as of right now, I believe Diaz is ahead of in the pecking order. We need to become more dangerous from corners. Too many tall lads to not be getting set-piece goals more constantly. Facts. Besides, when Trent takes a corner, we're just non-existent when it comes to a threat. And I think it was the quadruple chasing season where we were like one of the best teams at set pieces, was we not? Núñez doesn't fit the Klopp system. I wondered if Klopp had any say on the Núñez transfer. I think he definitely did have a say. I think it'd be ludicrous to say he didn't have a say at all. Shout out to Neil, who says Núñez is growing. You earn your place. He's also 23. I don't think he's growing much more. Random one, but I know Firmino links up with Gerrard in Saudi. I may actually consider watching the league. Ooh, I'd be intrigued. I'd be happy with Firmino getting the bag before the end of his career, for sure. If Núñez doesn't show anything next season, what would you do with him? Would you sell him? I think if he's still not an established first-team player and we get a significant offer from a good team, like 50, 60 million, yeah, I'd sell him. But that's me. You know what I think about Núñez. And that's only if he... remember the context of the question. If he doesn't have a good season, so don't have a go at me. I think Jota played that much and we started in a sort of 4-2-3-1. Yeah, Jota, when he came in, he just gave us a different option. It's nice to have Jota there, available. Your greatest ability for a Liverpool player is your availability. That's why Jota, if he's fit, it's a great option because it's just guaranteed goals off the bench. How will we compete against oil clubs with FSG 20 million net spend? We're net spends FC again. It's really just about readjusting expectations. It's not a case of, whatever. If you're not going to get the owners out, then you've got to readjust expectations. It's one or the other. They don't come hand in hand. Diaz should be a starter, but I worry for him. If he doesn't fit his game, Jota is a starter. He has the numbers. I think Núñez, if Núñez is going to get in this team, the most likely place is left wing. I really, really do. And I didn't see that before, but now I do. But then if Núñez is our starting left winger, I'm just saying I think there's better out there. He would have to be like Salah numbers for me to, or slightly less than Salah numbers for me to be happy with him playing at left wing for season after season after season. Núñez is very much like Torres. He's not, though. He's not. Don't do this. This isn't fair. How old are you, Mikey? If you don't mind me asking. Similar technical ability, similar style. Style fair. Difference is Torres had Gerrard behind him, and we relied only on them two. As nowadays, Núñez isn't the main man. What about Trent? Is Trent not a good enough supplier to Núñez? And are you suggesting Núñez hasn't been given chances this season? Because I could send you a 5-minute compilation of one-on-ones that he's missed. I'm not hating on Núñez. I'm just saying, you implying Torres got service and Núñez hasn't got service is factually wrong. Like, Torres was clinical. That's the difference that I think you were looking for between Torres and Núñez. Torres was one of the most lethal clinical strikers that I've ever seen. Núñez at Liverpool, I know at Chelsea it changed. If you want to compare Torres at Chelsea and Núñez, if that's what you mean, I agree. Torres at Liverpool, not even a chance. Not even a chance. I'm glad that we all caught that together, chat. I'm sitting on the fence when it comes to Núñez, but I so want him to come good. If Núñez comes good, here's why I want Núñez to become good. I don't care about the style of a player. If you can't do keep ups, I don't care, as long as you do your job. If Núñez becomes good, he will become one of the biggest superstars this club's got and has had. He will become huge. The fans already love him, and he's done barely nothing. And the fans adore him. Núñez. And it's great. It's admirable. But if he starts to back that support up, it will be fucking scenes. The biggest pops this season in Anfield or any away game was when Núñez scored. If Núñez scored, it was the biggest pop. Let me know if I'm wrong. If you went to games, let me know if I'm wrong. Torres, even though I hate him for leaving us, was the best striker in the world at one point. To Núñez comparison, it baffles my brain that was even, I even had to explain. James Prime Torres or Suarez, it's Suarez. I know I've just said all that about Torres, but Prime Suarez was, you've heard it all before, alien-like. James is bang on. Nino was a lethal, Darwin lacks the end product. That was the difference, that was the key difference. You can never compare the players for that sole reason. If Trent does a madness in the midfield role when attacking again this season, does he get moved over the midfield? I feel like it's going to have to happen. It's quite evident his best part of his game is the offensive side. But if we can come up with a defensive structure which is good enough to where Trent can still play right back and then bomb forwards, it doesn't matter. Like, we've had great defensive seasons with Trent at right back, and Trent was younger. He was worse of a footballer, arguably. It's about building a systematically good defensive team. That's the only thing that will stop us and hinder us. Núñez had a decent first half in terms of goal return. He could bag 20 plus this season if he gets in the Europa League with more time left. Yeah, I suppose so. The Europa League could be his competition. Stop falling in love with potentials. Could haves and should haves. Yeah, it's true. Let's talk about the absolutes. Not going to lie, James, I think you'd be a very good in speaking Dutch because your K sounds like a Dutch G. Okay. Well, I might learn. Get me and Gakpo and Verge on a Zoom meeting, and we'll do some. We'll teach each other. They'll teach me Dutch. I'll teach them Scouse. Happy days. If Trent does a madness in the midfield. Oh yeah, I've read that one. I've read that one. Let me go down. User spamming these comments. It's great to see. Do you think FSG may sell the club? No. I know there was a report earlier in the season. They're not going to sell the club anytime soon, and I don't actually believe they're going to sell the club for the next 10 years. I believe they're looking for more investors opposed to selling anyone. So unless the fans make some serious action, I don't see that being the case. I think Darwin can become clinical. I know it sounds mad, just speculation. It's off no substance is my thing. Nobody can give me substance on why they think Darwin's going to be an elite striker, the best striker in the world, which is what we're used to. When we had Suarez, best striker in the world. When we had Torres, we had the best striker in the world. Or at least one of. Why? How come now it's different with Darwin Núñez? That's the only thing I question, and it's because he could become that. Torres was that. Like, Suarez was that. They took a little bit of time, fair dues, but you could see the player. Núñez, I don't know. We go into this conversation too much, chat. Jeez Louise. You reckon Núñez is our new Origi? See, I'm fine with whoever is the new Origi. If you get another Origi, that's great. But then you think about the price tag and you think, why? Like anyone else? Like, we could have got Choupo-Moting and he could have been the new Origi. Stop dreaming about Núñez. Give him till January. Bring in Tony if he's not improved a lot. I would love Tony. I've been mentioning Ivan Toney since Championship days, chat. I don't even give a fuck. Pay whatever fines he's got with these allegations. He can bet against us every single game as long as he's bagging goals, mate. and he's predicting himself to score. That's all I care about. Like, oh my goodness, I would love Ivan Toney. One of the best strikers in the league, chat, and I don't care what you say. From a creativity standpoint, for someone who's so tall, he's so technical, and he's so good at passing the ball, crossing the ball, finishing the ball. He scores goals, man. How many goals has he got this season? Like 20, 30. He had the championship goal scoring record before Mitrovic. He was a monster. A monster. And he creates. He would be my favourite signing in the Premier League. If we sign Toney, I genuinely start to believe we could... like, with the additions of midfielders, if we get Toney, I believe we could compete for the Premier League. You do not think that Toney's head would not find all of those Trent balls? You think that Toney couldn't create some chances for Salah? Don't piss me off. It's the closest, most affordable thing we're getting to Harry Kane. And there's things that Toney can do that Harry Kane cannot do. Toney would be the best Premier League signing that we could make right now. Any player in the Premier League that we could sign that's realistic, Toney would be that guy. And I emphasise realism because we're not going to get Kevin De Bruyne. We're not going to get any of those players. Ivan Toney is that motherfucker. He is that motherfucker, and I love his personality. He doesn't give a fuck. Esther spot on, it's been said before. 100%. Ivan Toney is a Liverpool fan. I forgot that he was a Liverpool fan, chat. I forgot he was a Liverpool fan. Adds to the argument. So for those who love the passion merchant that is Darwin Núñez, you've literally got a guy who supported the team growing up with no real incentive. He grew up in London, could have supported any team. He chose the mighty Reds. Should we go for the Premier League title next season, considering if we sign players we need? We should go for the Premier League title every season. Will we? It is very different. Football is dead. Watch how Qatar buy Luton Town next. Just get them a new stadium. Buy them Goodison Park. I reckon Toney is a wish version of Gakpo. What? Toney's a wish version of Gakpo? Oh, I think you have got your football knowledge all in the wrong places, my friend, yeah? I think you have got your football knowledge all in the wrong places. Toney's better than Gakpo. Based on what I've seen off both players to this point of their career, 100% Toney's like clear of Gakpo. Could we move Trent into midfield right now through and then buy a good right back? A lot of people have asked me that question. I believe we could do that. I don't think we will do that, and therefore I don't think we're expecting a right back anytime soon. Do we need to sign a homegrown player? Would that need to be a priority this season? No. We've got Gomez, Curtis, Harvey. We've got players coming through the youth academy. Doesn't look like we're signing too many players. I think we're fine. I don't know our homegrown squad situation. I don't really heavily analyse that. I usually leave that to the club and let them sort out that shit, you know what I mean? Toney, who got more league goals than Salah this season? Did Toney really get more league goals than Salah this season? Is this live? Yeah, this is live. This is live. That is absolutely insane. If he actually got more goals than Salah this season at Brentford, only adds to the argument even more. You don't think... If you think that Mbeumo and all those type of players could create those chances and put them on a plate for Ivan Toney, Trent Alexander-Arnold couldn't, Thiago, when he plays once every 3 games, couldn't. Come on, Robertson. Come on, it's a chat. It's Liverpool written all over. That's the perfect transfer, and it'll never happen. Profiles don't matter when comparing 2 players in the same position. Toney better on Paddy Power. Yeah, the betting situation's mad, so I understand it's real. I suppose that's kind of what makes Toney an unrealistic signing, but I mean, if you think we couldn't have signed him last summer instead of Núñez, you're wrong. And it would have been a much better signing for much less the price, and he's only 26 or something, and he's established. I'm so devoted we didn't sign him. I'm nearly as sad of not signing Toney that I was sad that we never signed Haaland. Nearly, because I believe Toney would have been the difference of us getting like an extra league title in that quadruple chasing season. Like, genuinely, from Championship Brentford days, I've been calling for this motherfucker. Like, sometimes you don't need to look at a player for what... Like, yeah, Núñez, a whole 13 months before he joined Liverpool, was in Spain's 2nd division. Imagine saying then, like, we're going to sign him. The same went when I looked at Ivan Toney. Like, I didn't care what league he was in. I just cared about the player and what I saw. And I proper wish we got that player, mate. Would have been affordable, cheap, homegrown. Liverpool fan. Oh, such a missed opportunity. Once teams start getting used to Trent playing in mid and start exploiting. It's the same with anything though, wouldn't you say? Anything can get caught out. You've always got to evolve in football. We're back to having another conversation about him. He can't run away from that. He needs to improve. Not really. If you make a good defensive system, trust me, like, you can hide a lot of Trent's deficiencies. We've done it before. Tony is not needed. Would prefer Jota and Gakpo. Thinking Tony is a game changer for Liverpool last season is deluded. I disagree massively. I think the sole reason that he was a game changer in near enough every game for Brentford would suggest that he would be a game changer for Liverpool. In fact, I would go as far to say we would have finished comfortably top 4 if Tony was getting on the end of half of those chances than what Darwin Núñez got. So Henry, say, fair enough if you want to call me deluded based off no substance. I understand you're only limited to 150 caps on this YouTube platform. But I believe if you had 1,000 caps, there will be no amount of words in the English dictionary that could formulate a sentence that says, in any world, Tony could not finish those chances that Darwin Núñez took and missed wildly, by the way. So let me break down yours again. Tony not needed. I disagree. Would prefer Jota and Gakpo. Fine, if you have a preference, that's your opinion. Thinking Tony is a game changer for Liverpool last season is deluded. How many points was we off top 4? And how many games did we drop points because of Núñez's missed chances? Just hear me out. And you don't have a response for that. You don't have a response for that. If you think Núñez was a game changer and Tony was not a game changer, that is ludicrous to me. He was a game changer for Brentford. He was the difference of them finishing 15th and wherever they finished. Or getting relegated. I don't know. The club's worth about 10 million. Is Andy Robbo underrated? Yeah. People don't even talk about Robbo and the best left back in the world conversations no more. It's actually a mockery. Ivan Toney would improve my team in the Prem, bar Kane and Haaland. I'm just saying, mate, like, outside of those two, I wouldn't rather sign any other striker. Tony would have never gotten us top 4. Scoring the goals was the problem. We would have won 6-2, 9-1, 7-0 this season. The reason we dropped points wasn't Núñez, it was our poor defence. No, it was Núñez, because while that poor defence was conceding the odd goal and 2 goals every game, Núñez was missing 2 or 3 big chances, so he's actually just as much to blame as the defence. So don't sit there and say 6-2, 9-1 and 7-0. The 9-0 game against Bournemouth, Núñez never played. The 6-0 game against Manchester United, 7-0 against Manchester United, did Núñez even start that game? And if he did he even score? I'm just saying, like, the big scores that you've just mentioned, Núñez never played. So to suggest that Tony wouldn't have improved us all round and that the defence was the only reason why we were bad, no. Núñez missed out on a lot of big chances. Salah was missing huge chances at the start of the season. He should be on about 40 goals. No one talks about it because he found his shit. And we know he can find his shit, which is why we can be patient with Salah. It's different with Núñez. He was in the Spanish second league 3 seasons ago and was saying that he's better than Ivan Toney. On what premise? Off what substance? Because he scored 2 at Anfield against a team that played such a high line. Come on. Let's not be daft. James, we are the best team in Europe and you can not hide that. And also West Ham have had a better season than Liverpool. Yeah, you're right. You're actually not wrong. Núñez scored 2 in the 7-0. Fair dues. He scored in 6-1 game. Fair dues. Okay, so I got that information wrong. That's fair. He scored 2 in the United game. He scored 1 in the other game. Now, I actually remember the goals against United now as well, to be fair. Either way, I don't understand how that's to suggest that he is the guy above Tony. Don't get it. Strikers have the biggest responsibility because if you don't convert, that's typically a loss of possession. Núñez is the biggest to blame. So true. Ivan Toney's got the best holder play in the league as well. Imagine Alisson pinging up balls to Ivan and flicking them into the channel to Salah. People don't understand it, though. People don't understand it. They just think, oh, Brentford striker, his name's not flashy like Darwin Núñez. He's English. Oh, betting. They don't look at the football player. And the man scored more. Is it true that he scored more league goals than Salah this season? Let me have a look at this. In fact, nah, use will answer that. I don't want the Wi-Fi to mess up. If you can answer that question for me, please do, chat. He scores goals. We don't even need that. We don't even need goals. What? What? We don't need goals. I understand it's not the top priority. I hate the sentence, we don't need goals. How can you ever not want more goals? When you have Mane, Firmino, Salah, then you had a goal scorer midfielder like Oxlade-Chamberlain, and you're saying to me we don't need more goals. A club that's had Robbie Fowler, Torres, Suarez, Michael Owen, all these strikers, we don't need more goals. What? Have I just misunderstood something there? I would love Tony's Hall to play for Salah, innit? He's quality. Bro, your image of Ivan Toney has given me pure Diego Costa vibes, like he's streets above Toney. Who Diego Costa? In the Premier League, Diego Costa was quality. Toney is also quality. He is, like, genuinely one of the better strikers that you've seen. Jeez, look how sexy I am in that profile photo, James. Don't shit your pants. I'm just spitting facts, and sometimes when I'm spitting facts, it looks like I'm shitting myself. Our midfield deficiencies and drop-off was the game changer. Facts. Our biggest hitters in midfield were injured and drop off a cliff. Thiago and Fabinho, respectively. Scapegoating one player is poor form. I never scapegoated one player. I said he was just as much to blame as the defence. In fact, people were scapegoating just the defence as the sole part to blame. The same way that you're saying the midfield is the sole part to blame. It's actually all parts. The midfield is the biggest part. The defence is the next biggest. The one after that is Núñez. And then you can delve into the behind-the-scene problems. So before you misquote me and say you're only labelling one thing and that's poor form, you're right, that would be poor form. But just in the correlation to me, it's inaccurate because I've put the blame in all parties, including Jurgen Klopp. That's the difference. But because I talk about Núñez more, because I don't have the same opinion that a lot of people have based off no substance, people delve into the questions to basically get me to say he's world class when he's not. That's basically what people are trying to get. It's like, you don't agree that he's really, really... How don't you see it? And I try and explain, but nobody either listens or they can't comprehend why I don't see it. So no, I'm not just blaming Núñez, and I never would do that. It wouldn't be fair, especially in his first season. Salah at AFCON, who steps in? Someone said Ben Doak, but then I thought, as if Ben Doak is the guy that we're jumping to. I'm not too sure. Harvey Elliott, really, if you're thinking about it. Losing Mane from the press hurt the team a lot. Yeah, exactly, and now that Firmino's gone as well, you're going to need Gakpo in that position to really keep up and maintain the pressing that we've been so known for. Guys, 200 people in the stream, do smash a like. By the way, if I'm pulling a straight face and I'm calling you daft because of your footballing opinions, I still adore you to pieces. You know what I mean? I'm sure I say stuff where you're like, whoa, James, you're a dumb bastard. Núñez to me is better than Haaland, though. I'm sick of this. Who said this? I'm not familiar. Are you a regular? Say Balaji. In fact, I think I've seen this name before, Balaji. Shout out to you. His chances, he works and never puts his head down, unlike Haaland. He always waits in the box and scores tap-ins or lucky rebounds if he even... Okay, do you know what? I actually kind of hear what... Nah, you're actually a guy of football and knowledge. Even if people disagree, you've actually got to understand how he's saying this. Nah, you've actually got to hear how he's saying this, chat. He's basically saying Núñez has got more to his game. I wouldn't dispute that. I wouldn't say that's wrong. Saying that Núñez has got more to his game than Haaland, even if it's only by a little bit, is actually quite a factual statement. Haaland, good goal scorer, and elite goal scorer. Núñez could have potential to be that, but Núñez is a guy who, whether he does it well, he still creates, he still looks to make chances, he still looks to score goals. The finishing is night and day. The way I read that first part of the sentence, I actually want to apologise to Bolaji. I'm sorry, mate. I can't say names. But I actually wanted to apologise because I think what you were saying there is that Haaland. I think you're saying Haaland. Like, I just took that as Haaland is a better. Sorry, Núñez is a better finisher than Haaland, but you never said that once. You're saying player. And I do think there's an element where Núñez contributes more. But the two different types of players as well. So it's kind of a unfair argument. But I still think it would be a stretch to use the term Núñez better than Haaland. But I think there's things that he's better than him at. The thing is that FSG don't understand that after 2 years we might not have Klopp, who is a world-class manager. And what hurts even more is that we didn't use him to his potential. I've said this for years and it's a big shame. Shout out to Geordie Toon for life. I've missed you, brother, and it's good to see you. Núñez was bought because of his performance against Liverpool in the Champions League, in my opinion. Klopp, I think it's quite evident Klopp has made signings based on how they've looked against us. Minamino being another one. Minamino was a huge W of a signing, though. Like, even though I knew he was never going to be in our first team, he was a huge W as a signing. He literally won us the League Cup. Like, pretty much. He pretty much got us to... Like, the most important part of the League Cup journey is the journey itself. Minamino was involved with 75% of that journey up until the semi-finals and final. In fact, no, he even scored in the semi-final, did he not? Wow, look at that, Barney. He scored in the semi-finals, did he not? Minamino was just one of those guys, mate. Like, he was never going to be in our first team, but as a squad player, he really proved me wrong. He ended up being amazing as a squad player. You lot don't understand. FSG don't have money printer. That's not their fault. They are a company. Manchester City owners are literal royals, owners of a country. But then, Johnny, if you're a Liverpool fan and you want to compete and you've got owners who aren't capable of competing, wouldn't you suggest that either new investment needs to be brought in or the club needs to be sold? And then if they can't do it, then why is the ambition still being claimed to be league titles, Champions Leagues, and all these other things? Like, why is that? Because there's still a lot of questions to be asked on that front of why FSG. What is their intentions? Have they been trying to be a Premier League competing club? Or was that Klopp? And have they just tried to, get top four and Klopp has just overachieved, that type idea? I think Núñez will come good, but I don't think he has that natural, intelligent footballing brain like a Suarez. The thing with Suarez, it weren't just the brain, it was the genuine, there's a thing called technical ability, which is just, you're basically born with it. There's just a certain way someone can control the ball that another person can't. And I'm pointing at myself because I can't control the ball like the way certain people can. And it's just you see it and you think, how do you do it? And it doesn't matter how many times you try and change the angle of your ankle and shin and the way you let the ball land on your foot. There's just very limited that you can do about your ability once you get to a certain stage. And Núñez isn't only at that stage, he has been past that stage. So you really want me to believe the owners that have won us every single competition they've competed in, expanded in stadium for the fans, and also built a brand new training ground, have good intentions? Is it the most sincere intentions, is what I said. If it's the most sincere intentions in terms of competing for league titles and all these things on a consistent basis, which we haven't done to it the last 3 years, then yes, you have to raise questions. Yes, when you spend a lot of money before winning trophies, and then when you win trophies, you don't spend a lot of money, that's a huge problem. You mentioned the stadium. We all know the situation about how a loan was taken out for the stadium, which is fine, and I am glad that they are looking on improving the resources of the football club and looking to generate more match day revenue. But again, just because they've done these good things doesn't mean there's still things that have to be questioned. A lot of things that have to be questioned. A lot of greedy signs, the ticket prices, the Super League, the thing where they were trying to claim Liverpool and stuff like that, and then the inconsistent showing on a transfer front. Yes, I understand. Maybe FSG outers can make FSG sound like the worst owners in the world for sure, but we will always be a team that competes in Europa League or just about in Champions League while we have those owners, unless we're able to get a world-class manager like Jurgen Klopp. And I think you know this, Johnny. A manager like that doesn't come round all the time. I think we've seen it with Chelsea and Jose Mourinho. I think we've seen it with Manchester United and Sir Alex Ferguson. I think we've seen it with Arsenal and Arsene Wenger. It takes a long time to replace these good coaches, mate. You know what I mean? The Jose Mourinho weren't actually a good example because Chelsea probably won the league right after he left. But the other ones still stand. And Liverpool will also fall in that category because we're not capable of just hiring and sacking managers every season. It's not the way we roll. So if that's not the way that we roll, and we got lucky with Jurgen Klopp, what are we going to do after Jurgen Klopp? Because I can only reference what we done before Jurgen and after Jurgen. I don't know what we're going to do after Jurgen. I know what we did before Jurgen, and it wasn't good. I'm seeing what we are doing with Jurgen, and then I'm thinking, what if we get a manager that's worse than him? And then you say the owners won us all those trophies. The players won us those trophies. The manager won us those trophies. Therefore, yes, you're right, they won us those trophies because they acquired those people. But one out of what was a 12-year span, one window where you signed Fabinho, Alisson, then you signed Van Dijk in January, that was the good spell. And before that and since then, it's been very questionable in terms of acquisitions. So I'm just simply saying to you, don't try and The same way that FSG outers shouldn't try and demonise FSG too much. Don't try and make them sound too angelic. Because I'll tell you now, mate, those owners have not got the best sincere hopes for this football club. And I'll tell you that for free. That's a fact. Not the best intentions, most sincere intentions is how I'll reword that. Not a chance. FSG signed Kanate, Jota and Diaz. After that, don't be like that. And we finished in the Europa League. Even with Diaz, even with Kanate, even with Jota, we finished in the Europa League. Now, fair dues, yes, they were injured for a lot of the season. You knew that we could get injuries heading into the season. And it weren't the attacker that we were worried about. The attack was still fine. It was the midfield, and we didn't complement that. The same way we didn't complement the defence 2 seasons ago when we went in with Matip, Gomez and Verge. When something goes wrong with the club and the inconsistency and, the achievements aren't fulfilled, Johnny, I'm not just going to sit there and agree and say, oh my God, what amazing owners. They haven't proven to be. In fact, out of the 15 years or whatever they've been here, they've had more bad years than good years. Okay, we have never got the big boys, i.e. Bellingham or Mbappe, but that's never going to happen. Imagine FSG have done all this being profitable. All they want is to be profitable. That's it. And I'm okay with that. So there we go. That's where we have a difference in opinion. So you're not trying to say FSG are going to become the best team in the world. So me and you, Johnny, have different expectations. We've solved this. We've solved the debate, Johnny. You're fine with being a profitable football club. You've just said it. You're fine with Liverpool being a profitable business. Therefore, as long as we make more money next year than what we did this year, it's all good. The sell to buy model, I don't care if it gets us Conference League, as long as we were profitable. Johnny, that's fine, because that means you're a fan who's very happy with being in the league, being a top team. You don't care if you're always winning. You're just there to experience the moments. I am trying to find the solutions that could get us bridging the gap between 5th, 4th to 1st. That's the only difference between me and you, Johnny. Doesn't make me better than you. It just means I'm looking at this from a completely different lens to what you are. Because guess what? If I was looking through your lens, FSG have done amazing. They've balanced the club out. They've made us profitable. They've made a new stadium. Wow. FSG are truly fantastic from your lens. From my lens, they're pathetic, insincere. I won't go the furthest, but I'm just simply saying I think there's a lot of things they could have done more, and there's still a lot of things that I've held a grudge with FSG. The Super League's been hard to forget. The ticket prices and all these things. Mistakes can be made, and I'm glad they learned from those mistakes and didn't go ahead with them. Only time will tell about my mind being changed. Based on what I've seen, there's a lot of things I don't trust. And if you break that trust early, it's very hard to build that trust back. And FSG haven't done too much on a competitive standpoint to have earned my trust back. It seems they are happy with us being a sustainable top 4 team until a potential Super League comes round again, or until all of Saudi Arabia buys the Premier League and then buys all the Premier League clubs, so that Liverpool can be sold for the most money as possible. That's the response I'll say to you there, Johnny. I would prefer Liverpool to be a top 4 club and strive for trophies, lad, not profitability. I'd love owners from Saudi who pay more than everyone else, but you're not being real. We have to live with FSG. Do we have to live with FSG? So there's nobody. So what you're saying to me, Johnny, there is no buyers out there. There is no one. There is nobody out there that can buy Liverpool and improve the circumstances. That's what you're saying to me. If that's fine, I'd have to agree with you. I don't believe that to be true. I don't believe that to be true. Nunes might be a late bloomer, like Ciro and Mobile. Yeah, suppose so. Some good names. Di Natale, man. Shout out to Di Natale. What a name. Close as well. Yeah, some good names there. Appreciate that. They were some nostalgic names. Johnny again says, FSG do what is best for them as Liverpool owners and what is best for the club, mate. Not just how can we make the most money. That's also look at United. No, I never brought up money. You brought up money, Johnny. That's the thing. I never brought up money. You brought up profitability. It weren't me who brought it up. I responded to you mentioning I'm happy being a profitable club. Maybe that weren't the overall point you were making. I'm just saying that was one of the points that you made. Also, look at United, lad. They've been up for sale for years. It might be a case of they've been up for sale for years, but they are literally capable of selling their football club right now and have been capable of selling their football club for the past couple of years. What does it go down to? Greed. So actually, is it beneficial for the football club if the owners are greedy? If there's new owners who can be better, but you don't want to, I get it from a business standpoint, fair enough, they've got to do what they've got to do. That's not where I've got a problem. I've got a problem with what they've done to us. But I'm just saying, if they were the owners you're making them out to be, the most sincere, the most this, the most that, Manchester United, for instance, they'd sell the club, even if it was slightly less than what they'd actually want to acquire for it. But it doesn't correlate over to business. Hence why I'm exposing that when they give you the PR of we're going to compete for the league and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, it is exactly that PR, because they still need you to buy tickets. They still need you to invest in the storylines. So it adds to their business. So the same way I don't blame them for wanting to sell Liverpool for the most possible money is the exact same way that I understand they use Liverpool for the business, rightly so, because you can be a business, but then there's a good business, and if we're a good business, then great. And we are a good business, but we're not a winning business. And if we're not a winning business, then what does that mean about the foundations that was created by Shankly, Paisley? And then if Klopp could have won more with more resources, why don't we mention that? Why don't we talk about that? Why is it always, Klopp's fault, Klopp's fault? Because the agenda used to be it was just FSG's fault. The agenda now seems to be it's just Klopp's. So it switches, is the point that I'm saying. If you were once blaming FSG, now you're blaming Klopp. What's the score? And is it both? And it could be both. But you've just got to be careful by identifying who's got the most blame. FSG have to think about money being a business, but owners who are states, i.e. countries, they can take us to the next level. Todd Bowley doesn't have a country, and he can still go and invest a lot of money into Chelsea. I'm just saying there's buyers who would be willing to invest bigger zeros into the football club that could be more beneficial with a well-structured team that has been built since Jurgen Klopp. Before Klopp, we never had a structured team. Since Klopp, we've been more structured. The infrastructure has improved. The signings have improved. You mentioned a list of players we signed before. I could give you Fabio Borini. I could give you Ricky Lambert, Mario Balotelli, Christian Benteke, all these players. I could give you them, but I'm not going to, because that's not the sole factor. Even the winning, even the competitiveness isn't the sole reason. It's the lies they've told us repeatedly over the years. And if you think they're not going to lie again, then why would they lie in the first place? If they weren't going to lie again, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. It's a simple premise. So that's where I sit there with confusion and say, okay, these are the owners for me. Because they've lied to me about expectations. They've tried to do things to the football club without the fans knowing, like the Super League. Tried to hire the ticket prices. Tried to trademark Liverpool. All for their business, which is fine. It's good to be a good business. That's where we agree. Where we disagree is the fact that it's not to be a competitive business. It's to be a good enough business for if a Saudi or someone comes and takes over the whole league, or if a new Super League is created. But you know what though, Johnny? Big up, because they were some good counterpoints. Let me read your last one, but then we're gonna finish up. Look at Newcastle, new shirt sponsor deal. They've gone from 6 mil. See, I agree. I know what you're saying about the countries is right, but you don't need a country to be a successful football club. United haven't had a trophy, and they've had heavy investment. They just haven't spent the investment well. Chelsea, not owned by a country, a heavy investment, just haven't done it well. If we done it well, that's the difference. That's what everyone was trying to say when we were signing Mane and Salah, and now it's £30 million players still. We're signing players now for the same price we was when Klopp joined. I'm just simply exposing to you, resources are limited at this football club. That's it. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go into that debate all day. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. An hour and 8 minutes of glorious content. Please do smash those likes, people. If you can smash those likes, that would be amazing. Get the video more out there. Means I can do more of these streams. And the more people who tune in, the more adverts that get watched, the more money that this channel makes. So that means, like, even if you don't send super chats, then I can still make money. So if you just leave a like and a comment after the video's posted, really gets the video out there. And yeah, man, just thank you so much for tuning in. Big up to everyone who had a debate. What I love about this chat, yous aren't wet wipes. Yous are up for conversation. You tell me when I'm wrong and you say, James, you're a divvy. I tell you when you're wrong and I call you a divvy. It's a great relationship, because that's how you grow people. We can have a football conversation in life. I like people who say when I'm wrong. I appreciate it, and it's why I appreciate every single one of you. And even if we don't agree, don't ever think I'm attacking you, mate. I'm attacking your shit football and opinion. I'm only messing. Guys, I love you. Have a good night.